I didn't know that what I eated every day was harmful to me. If you're like me, an older American who believed that a little sugar is okay, you need to hear this story. I'm not a doctor. I'm a father, a grandfather, who drove a truck across the country for 30 years, living on black coffee, donuts, and cold-cut sandwiches. I used to think, just eat it. You won't live long. Until one day, my doctor looked me in the eye and said, "You're heading straight for end-stage diabetes." I'm not exaggerating. My blood sugar was so high that my brain was foggy. I collapsed on my doorstep after a seemingly harmless breakfast. You know what I ate? A glass of milk and a slice of white bread. From that day on, I started doing some research. I talked to a nutritionist, I read every single food label, and most importantly, I listened to my body. And you know what shocked me the most? Foods I thought were normal, safe, were destroying my body from the inside. 1. Soda. The hidden punch of sweetness. Are you drinking soda? Energy drinks. Sweetened chai tea. Even that natural fruit juice you thought was in a box. Hear me out. It was the first thing I threw out of my fridge, and it was the best thing I ever did. Imagine this. You drink a cold glass of soda, and within minutes, the sugar in it hits your bloodstream like a punch. You don't have enough insulin. Your body doesn't use insulin properly, so the glucose floods your bloodstream like a flood. I used to think, I need energy, and drinking soda is the fastest way. Yes, it was quick, but it was a false, short-lived energy, followed by fatigue, sleepiness, and then hunger again. I didn't realize that each can of soda contained 39 grams of sugar. That's nearly 10 teaspoons of sugar. It didn't just send my blood sugar soaring. It also made me thirsty, peeing a lot, blurred vision, and worst of all, I started losing feeling in my toes. And then one day, my doctor showed me pictures of clogged arteries, damaged nerves, and weakened kidneys, all caused by chronically high sugar. I was scared, really scared. 2. White bread. The healthy imperfection who doesn't love a slice of fluffy, toasted white bread. I've had sandwiches every morning for 15 years. But do you know what's under that crust? I call it the hidden sugar bomb. White bread is made from refined flour that has had its bran and germs stripped away. The result? No fiber, no natural vitamins, just pure starch absorbed by the body, just like sugar. I used to think white bread is not sweet, so it must be fine. Big mistake. When I tested my blood sugar after a breakfast of white bread and strawberry jam, within 30 minutes, my blood sugar was up more than 60 points. My heart was pounding. My hands were shaking. Even if the bread had no added sugar, it could still send your blood sugar soaring because your body metabolizes it so quickly that it becomes dangerous. An expert once told me, white bread is like drinking liquid sugar except you chew it. Sounds extreme, but for diabetics, it's true. 3. Whole milk. The unwell fat taste. I used to drink a glass of whole milk before bed. It was rich, smooth, and fragrant. It felt like embracing my childhood. But then I started to realize, every time I drank milk at night, the next morning I felt heavy, tired, and my blood sugar didn't drop as expected. Whole milk is high in saturated fat, the kind of fat that is difficult for the body to break down. For people with insulin problems, this is extremely dangerous. Why? Because saturated fat reduces the ability of cells to use insulin, causing blood sugar to stay high. Not to mention, excess fat is concentrated around the belly, the most dangerous type of fat, promoting internal inflammation and increasing insulin resistance many times over. I started replacing cow's milk with unsweetened almond milk, and within the first week, I felt a clear difference, a lighter belly, better sleep more, and your blood sugar will be more stable. Worst food. Number 3. Canned fruit juice. I thought I was doing the right thing when I switched from soda to fruit juice. I mean, apples, oranges, grapes, they're all natural fruits, right? But I was dead wrong. You know what happens when you juice fruit? You strip away the fiber, which helps slow down the absorption of sugar, and you're left with what's essentially natural sugar water. A glass of grape juice can contain up to 36 grams of sugar, and most of it is fructose, the sugar that your liver has to process directly. For people with diabetes, that's a blood sugar nightmare. And even worse, many canned juices add sugar or high fructose corn syrup to naturally sweeten. But there's nothing natural about it. It's just a huge hit to your insulin and pancreas. One time, I drank a seemingly harmless glass of apple juice in the morning. 2 hours later, I felt dizzy, My heart was racing, and when I checked my sugar, it jumped to 240 milligrams DL. I immediately quit drinking water. I've been craving it ever since. Bad food number 4. Fat-free cakes, pastries, and desserts. Don't let the fat-free label fool you. Low-fat baked goods and diet cookies often come with a disastrous trade-off. To cut fat, manufacturers add sugar. And for diabetics, it's a sweet but deadly trap. I remember my niece's birthday party. She brought a fat-free brownie labeled diabetic-friendly. I tried a bite. It tasted bland, but at least I thought it was safe. Big mistake. Inside, the cake contained 45 grams of carbohydrates, mostly from refined flour and corn syrup. The result? I was tired, thirsty, and low on energy by the end of the day. My blood sugar spiked as if I had just eaten a piece of cake with lots of toppings. Lesson learned: fat-free doesn't mean diabetic safe. Sometimes, it's even worse than the original. Worst food number 5. Potatoes, especially mashed or fried potatoes, sound strange, right? I thought so too. But potatoes have a very high glycemic index, meaning they turn into glucose almost immediately when they enter the body. You eat a plate of mashed potatoes. It's like you've just swallowed a few spoonfuls of sugar. Each serving can have 30 to 40 grams of simple carbs, with almost no fiber to go with it. French fries are even worse. Adding industrial frying oil makes things doubly dangerous. I used to love American-style fries, crispy, salty, hot. But after seeing my blood sugar spike from 130 to 210 within an hour of eating them, I had to cut them out completely. Instead, I learned how to make baked sweet potatoes, served with greens, still satisfying the craving without sacrificing health. Worst food number 6. White rice and refined pasta. They may seem traditional and harmless, but the reality is different. White rice, white pasta, noodles, pho all have their fiber and vitamin-containing shells stripped away, leaving behind refined starches that are almost like sugar. I used to eat white pasta with tomato sauce almost every night until my doctor told me I was carb loading. This put my insulin into overdrive, causing my blood sugar to fluctuate like a roller coaster. One day, after a dinner of spaghetti, I had a terrible headache and felt exhausted. When I checked, my blood sugar was 268. That's when I knew I had to make a change. Now, I switched to brown rice, whole wheat pasta, or even quinoa. It was a little strange at first, but my body was grateful for the change every day. Wise choices, the best foods for diabetes. After knowing the 6 foods to avoid, you may wonder, so what should I eat to be safe? I used to be like that, fumbling in front of the refrigerator, looking around the supermarket like I was lost in a maze. But after many trials and errors, talking to a nutritionist and experiencing my own body, I found 5 golden choices. They not only keep my blood sugar stable, but also help me get healthier every day. 1. Green leafy vegetables, a natural shield for your body. For example, spinach, kale, Swiss chard, lettuce. Green vegetables are not only low in calories and carbs, but also rich in magnesium, fiber, and vitamin C, which are things that diabetics need. I often stir-fry kale with garlic and a little olive oil, or make a light salad. After eating, not only do I feel light in my stomach, but I also feel like my body has just been cleansed. Reasons to eat: helps improve insulin sensitivity, reduces inflammation, and adds antioxidants. 2. Nuts, small but mighty. For example, almonds, walnuts, chia seeds, flax seeds. I always keep a small bag of nuts in my bag, just in case I get hungry instead of reaching for a candy bar. Nuts are rich in healthy fats, protein, and fiber. They help you stay full longer, stabilize blood sugar, and limit snacking. Personal experience: after 2 months of replacing cookies with walnuts and chia seeds, my fasting blood sugar dropped by nearly 20 points. 3. Berries, a guilt-free dessert. For example, strawberries, blueberries, raspberries. I used to be skeptical. Can you eat fruit that is so sweet? But the truth is that berries have a low glycemic index G, are rich in antioxidants and fiber, so they don't cause a sudden spike in blood sugar. A small bowl of blueberries after lunch, or a strawberry smoothie with unsweetened almond milk, is delicious and doesn't cause blood sugar to spike. Research shows berries help improve insulin sensitivity and reduce inflammation, 2 important factors for people with diabetes. 4. Fatty fish, insurance for the heart. For example, salmon, mackerel, Sardines. Diabetes is not just about blood sugar. It is closely linked to a high risk of heart disease. Fatty fish provide omega-3 fatty acids, which help reduce inflammation, lower blood lipids, and protect blood vessels. I eat pan-fried salmon at least twice a week. Add a little lemon juice and steamed vegetables, a delicious and complete meal. Why you shouldn't miss it? Supplementing omega-3 from fish helps reduce the risk of death from cardiovascular complications in people with diabetes. Sugar 5. Beans are cheap, easy to eat, filling source of protein, for example, lentils, black beans, chickpeas, green beans. I used to not care too much about beans until I discovered that they help you stay full longer, have little effect on blood sugar, and are good for digestion. Cook a pot of lentil soup with tomatoes and vegetables, or make a chickpea salad mixed with olive oil, simple but full of nutrients. Plus points. Beans help control blood sugar levels after eating, increase the feeling of fullness, and support weight control. 5 foods you should eat. See the difference immediately. Food 1. Green leafy vegetables, something I used to hate. Did you know? When I was a kid, I hated spinach and lettuce. But when my doctor told me that those green leaves contain something called alpha-lipoic acid, which helps increase insulin sensitivity and fight inflammation, I started to learn to eat them again. It wasn't easy, but now I eat them every day. Kale, Swiss chard, spinach, lightly sauté with garlic, or made into a salad with apple cider vinegar and olive oil. Every time I eat them, my body feels lighter. My blood sugar is more stable. Lesson. Sometimes the things you hate are the things you need the most. Food 2. Lentils and black beans. Little friends of blood sugar. I used to think beans were cheap, not very nutritious. But it turns out, beans are superstars when you have diabetes. They have a low G index, high in soluble fiber, which helps slow down the absorption of sugar. Every week, I cook a pot of lentil soup with tomatoes and onions. Just one bowl, full for a long time without raising blood sugar. I cook black beans with brown rice, surprisingly delicious. Honestly, I wish I knew this 10 years ago. Food 3. Cinnamon, the magical old spice. Who knew that cinnamon, the stuff I only sprinkle on apple pie, could improve insulin sensitivity? Now I add a pinch to my morning oatmeal or make a warm cinnamon tea after dinner. My blood sugar doesn't spike like it used to. And no, not the store-bought kind. It has to be pure cinnamon. A little tip. Read labels. Avoid the ones with added sugar. Food 4. Fatty fish, like a heart-healthy treat: salmon, mackerel, sardines. These are rich in omega-3 that help reduce inflammation and improve heart health, which is important if you have type 2 diabetes. I switched from beef to fish. Grilled, steamed, or pan-fried, they're all delicious. Grilled salmon with lemon and dill is especially delicious and healthy. Confession. My stomach is slimmer. My blood pressure is more stable. I feel alive again. Food 5. Apple cider vinegar, the secret weapon after meals. Just 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar mixed with warm water after meals. I no longer feel sleepy because of the spike in blood sugar. Apple cider vinegar helps slow down the digestion of starch and reduce blood sugar spikes. Amazing, right? I always carry a small bottle in my bag when I eat out. It sounds strange, but it saves me from bad meals. Your choice today is your health tomorrow. I am not a doctor. I am a father, a grandfather, and a man who used to be subjective and disregarded health warnings. I used to think, I don't eat sugar. I'm fine. But I was wrong. Diabetes does not come from sugar alone. It comes from bad choices every day: white bread, processed meats, seemingly harmless diet sodas. But luckily, I changed. And you can too. If you're reading this, I bet you want to change too. Start small, ditch the soda today, add spinach to your dinner, or just sprinkle some cinnamon on your breakfast. Health doesn't come from pills. It comes from habits. And I, who used to be indifferent to greens and feared doctors more than ghosts, can now say with confidence, I control diabetes. It doesn't control me.